Quality Assured Films does not condone the misuse of internet reviews. We realize no one is perfect. The opinions of John and Mike should be taken lightly prior to the viewing of any movie. Enjoy the show. Quality Assured Films.
Welcome to Quality Assured Films. I'm John.
I'm Mike, and we just watched Iron Man 4.
Featuring Spider-Man.
Just a little bit.
Did Liz get a new top?
No, we've seen that before. Never with that skirt.
Should probably stop staring before it gets creepy, though.
Too late. You guys are losers.
Another Spider-Man movie.
Yes!
However, I will say this right off the bat. I love this Spider-Man in Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War.
Well, I could have stuck the landing a little better. It's just a new suit. Wait, it's nothing. Mr. Stark, it's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't really need to start a conversation.
Okay.
We have so many superhero movies that are out right now where like the whole story is about the end of the world. You know, the sky's opening up and the aliens are coming.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a nice relief to see a movie where it was like a small town issue, you know, small town villain.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
And they did something that I've always wanted to see, which is which seems totally counterintuitive, but that's what makes it more interesting, is taking Spider-Man out of the city.
Yeah.
Out of the skyscrapers where he can easily swing around to everything.
Yep.
And putting him out in the suburbs where he has very few things to swing on. Which seems like that would ruin your movie, but that kind of stuff is really great decision making that takes your character out of their element and puts them off their guard without having to develop crazy plot twists to do so.
Right.
I don't understand.
Oh, hey, guys.
So this isn't spoiling anything because it's in the trailer immediately, but his friend Ned, I love the dynamic between them.
Oh yeah.
I love the fact that he finds out right away that he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, it's not dragged out the whole movie.
Right.
I like that we didn't get an origin story.
Oh yes, thank God. I mean, we've seen it 5 times before.
What? Yeah, this was literally just them walking down the street.
Which,
like, oh,
hey DC, take a fucking note here. We don't need to see Peter. We don't need to see Uncle Ben get shot again.
Nope.
Ever, and we don't ever need to see Bruce Wayne's parents get shot again.
Oh, God.
Like, come on. Here's a montage of Uncle Ben dying.
Fuck it, roll it.
I have bad news. Your Uncle Ben has been shot. Murdered.
Uncle Ben? Dead? No. No, it can't be.
It was a burglar who your uncle surprised.
Casting, of course, we always talk about casting. Marissa Tomei, I love her.
Oh yeah.
I do, and I don't know. I just felt like,
Well, they didn't give her enough to do.
right, it was just like, hey, it's Aunt May, look. It's Aunt May, and she's attractive, which they just kept falling on.
Yeah, that was her only plot in the movie, which was really disappointing. Everyone else in the movie that is in a scene with Aunt May comments on how hot she is to her face.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't order that.
It's on the house.
Oh, thanks.
I think he largs you.
She plays it off like she's being complimented, but how must that make Peter feel? And like, I don't think that's really fair. Like, it would have been interesting to have like her on screen being like, that's like, don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Like, have her telling guys off so that it doesn't, because otherwise you're just promoting that kind of behavior, I feel like.
Right.
It's really fucking weird.
Who else knows? Anybody?
Nobody.
Not even your unusually attractive aunt?
No.
I really liked all the actual high school stuff that they did.
Yeah.
And I liked the style choices that they made in the wardrobe and the music. They were going almost for a late 70s feel in modern New York, which weirdly worked. If the shots were composed differently, it could have almost been a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah.
Because they all had the private school jackets,
Oh, that's true.
and they all had little, like, nicely placed one-liners, and it was like a little bit older comedians playing all the teachers.
I will say that the love interest I was kind of bothered by that. Again, I know it's high school, so, you know, you see the cute girl, you like her. Well, I don't remember her name.
Liz Allen.
Is she from the comics?
I don't know, actually. I don't think so.
Did you just hear what he said?
I don't know, actually. I
laughed out loud a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, when the opening credits rolled and it was like, Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Oh, I thought it was awesome!
I know.
They, like, made this cheesy Spider-Man theme song, like, epic!
It was like...
I wish they brought that into the movie more. They didn't really.
No.
I wanted, when he was doing his the big climactic moments, I was like, bring the score in! Now's the time! Do it now!
I think it's just that, again, like, I've seen so many damn Spider-Men that I'm like, it just felt... Sometimes, you know, you feel like Hollywood's trying to rob you. This movie did not make me feel that. However, going into it, I thought, did I not just see Andrew Garfield like a year and a half ago doing it? But I know the difference is now that this is in the Marvel Universe. And,
right.
And I'm all for that. In fact, that's why I said I really liked him in Civil War. A small part of me started feeling like maybe he didn't necessarily need his own standalone movie yet, but they made one.
Well, what I would say is that my one big negative about the movie, which we made a joke about earlier, is that there's too much Iron Man in it.
Yep.
I wanted the standalone Spider-Man movie, and then have Tony show up at the end.
Right.
You would have had to have made some plot changes to have that happen, but that's what all the stuff that was just Spider-Man was so much better.
Right.
Than everything else with the two of them, that I was like, get that out of here!
Yeah.
I wanted the Spider-Man movie, because this Marvel, they finally have it back, they want to make their Spider-Man movie. Get Iron Man out of there! What the fuck?
Yeah, there was just too much of him.
So when's our next retreat?
What, next mission? We'll call you. All right?
That's not a hug. I'm just grabbing the door for you. I'm not there yet. All right, kid. Good luck out there.
So that...
My senses are going off.
Sorry,
My spidey senses.
Your spoiler senses?
My spoiler senses!
No, I already kind of did some... so painful!
Badass.
So something I thought that was actually kind of annoying was that we were seeing plot lines from Iron Man that have not yet been resolved get resolved at the end of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know that they're in the same universe, but if I just want to watch a Spider-Man movie, I don't want to see resolutions to 10-year-long running Iron Man plot lines at the end of the Spider-Man movie.
That's so true. I mean, even Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
She shows up and you're like, oh, that's right, she's in this...
Well, she was not in Civil War.
Okay.
And they were like, we're
so.
on a break or whatever, like we broke up. And then she just is there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to propose to you.
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
It's such a waste of time.
Listen, Peter, there are people who handle this sort of thing. Can't you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
Let go of me! Let go of me!
I liked the villain. I liked Michael Keaton as the Vulture.
Birdman. Invert to...
As Birdman.
As Birdman? Yeah. I love Michael Keaton. I'm so over the thug guy that finds like alien technology and uses it.
Oh.
But it's weird because that kind of goes against what I was saying about this movie from the start, which was that it wasn't like an end of world threat. It was, you know, well, like it had that moment with the catastrophe, like all Spider-Man movies have, where he has to do something to save a bunch of people. In this case, it was the boat.
I could have done without that.
Yeah.
And if you were going to take Iron Man out of it, you would have to rewrite that scene anyway.
Oh, right, because he comes along and saves
the day, kind of. Yeah, so then it becomes about Iron Man. And, like, I thought it was interesting that they had Spider-Man fail a lot.
Yeah.
And they really pushed him, and, like, even when he thought he was trying to help people, he he like tried to stop a guy from robbing a car. He thought he was robbing a car, and he was just trying. He had the thing.
Oh yeah,
that you put in the wedge to put in the window to unlock the car to get your keys out of it.
So it looks like he's breaking.
It looks like he's breaking into it, and he webs him, and he like punches him, and he's like, "This is my car!"
Yeah,
and then like the people are yelling at him, and they're like, "Shut the hell up!"
That's
or
so
whatever.
great.
Like, keep it down. Like, I love that stuff. It was so good, and I thought it would have been like bold to show more of him screwing up and be like, I mean, you know, people don't have to die, but it could be like something where his inexperience like teaches him a lesson about how, you know, how he has to learn his limits. With it, you don't need Iron Man to do that. I don't think.
Mr. Stark, here's my report for tonight. I stopped a Grand Theft bicycle. Hey, could you do me a favor? Hold on to that. Is this anybody's bike? Oh, I helped this old lady and she bought me a churro, so that was nice.
There was one part where Michael Keaton, I thought it paid off, and that was when he picks up the girl for the prom date, and they're driving it. Even that, to me, was a bit of a stretch. That I don't know what Peter said, or maybe it was just the way Peter was looking at him, that he like immediately recognizes that you're Spider-Man. Like, I know that voice, or I know there was something, and then right away it's like, oh shit, he knows he's him. He knows he's him. They know they're each other.
Right.
That was cool. That was worth it.
Yeah. Well, I thought it even played into the high school thing because that's a really terrifying moment for you as a guy or a girl, whatever, what have you, going to your significant other's, you know, house to meet their parents is terrifying. So for that to be his supervillain, I thought was really clever.
Mess with me, because I will kill you and everybody you love.
I will say this, the one guy, the villain that I thought was the coolest was the one that had like 0 screen time. The guy from Quarry, which by the way, a very phenomenal show.
Oh, the original Shocker?
Yeah. Oh, is that what he was?
Yes.
Yeah, he gets incinerated by Michael Keaton, and Michael Keaton's like, oh, I thought that was the gravity gun. Whoops.
Yeah. Which I thought undercut them trying to make him relatable, because then he just murdered someone in cold blood.
Yeah.
Where up until that point, we were kind of supposed to be rooting for him as like, the blue-collar guy.
Yep. Yeah.
But I liked at the end when he was giving Pete the lecture, saying, you know, these rich people don't, you know, they don't give a fuck about us. Like, the people whose stuff you're trying to save don't care whether you live or die.
Yep.
Like, they step on us to get what they want. And even though Peter didn't, you know, may or may not even take that lesson, I thought it was like, and he was stalling for time.
Yeah.
It was like such it was like a really great moment that I think only Michael Keaton could have really sold, and that I really liked that.
The world's changing, boys. It's time we change too.
This is my chance to prove myself. We have a Spanish quiz.
I thought some of the best parts were when he was just being a kid, hanging around. Like, there's a scene where he's hanging in between a building. He just has like a cot made.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey guy, you know, like that.
Yeah,
that was cool.
I liked him sitting out on the fire escape, and he was texting, and I was like, these people get Spider-Man, which is why it bothered me so much that there was like so much of this movie that was him talking to the AI in his suit, just like it was Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
Good evening, Peter.
Whoa.
You have 576 possible web shooter combinations.
That is awesome.
A little known fact too about the AI voice. You told me this.
Yes.
I didn't recognize it. Who was it?
Jennifer Connelly.
Yes.
Oh.
That,
I love her.
Would you like to hear what they're saying?
I can hear what they're saying.
Activating advanced reconnaissance mode.
I'm sick of sitting around out here.
That is awesome.
I didn't like that they treated us as if we were really stupid. And like we couldn't be trusted to see the symbolism in any given moment. So he's trapped under a piece of concrete, which you've seen him do insane things this whole time. He's trapped under it, and then he's there for about 30 seconds, and he looks in the reflection of the water, and it could have been this really nice moment. They could have taken a breath in the movie, which was 2.5 hours long, which was so much time wasted, whereas this is the shot you want to spend the time on. Don't spend time with this little spider drone flying around, or fucking 10 Iron Man suits showing up. Spend time on this moment.
Yeah.
And he looks down in the pool of water and he sees the mask floating there, And so you see the half Spider-Man mask, half Peter Parker face in the reflection of the water. And then what happens?
Doesn't he get like coached by whoever's there, like Iron Man or something?
The voice of Iron Man comes echoing in, and he goes, "Hey, remember that thing I said earlier about how it's not the suit that makes you Spider-Man? Remember that, audience? Are you awake? Are you like
what?
It's like, hey, this is what this shot means, dummy." And then he's like, "Rah!" And he lifts it up. And I was like, that totally took all the emotional weight out of it.
Where's my sandwich?
I never knew that was a big moment in the comics.
Oh,
to a
yeah,
point where,
yeah.
that would have pissed me the fuck off.
But even if you didn't, they didn't give it enough time, screen time, for it to have any weight to it. It didn't feel earned, is my point. There was another scene, which ties into my point here, where he's in the suburbs, like I said earlier, and he's running through everyone's backyard because there's nothing for him to swing to, so he's kind of crashing into stuff and falling through fences, and he runs through a pool party. And to yourself watching it, you're probably thinking, "Oh, that's funny, it's just like Ferris Bueller."
Yep.
And then what happens?
The Ferris Bueller music comes on.
Well,
wait, I don't remember what happened. What does happen?
He runs through somebody's backyard that has a giant Sony TV on it that's playing Ferris Bueller.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like...
Two.
Bueller.
The last thing I want to say about this movie was just the final credit scene, the shot of Aunt May walking in on him.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie she doesn't know he's Spider-Man, and I thought it was pretty cool. It just ends with her going, "What the f?" and then right into the credits.
That was the character I wanted to see out of her, but we didn't get it.
Nope, didn't have enough time. So, any other thoughts on Spider-Man?
Well, just talking about the end credits, they felt like they were from a different movie, because if the style of the Spider-Man movie, if the movie would have been written with all that great Spider-Man Peter Parker stuff without the Iron Man shit, it would have been perfect. But because all that stuff was in there, they didn't feel earned. It felt like it was a totally different movie. It was all, Ramones punk music and crazy scratchy graphics of cartoon shit happening. And I was like, this would have been great for that movie, but this wasn't that movie.
Nope.
Anyway, final thoughts.
I mean, that's it. I again, so many Spider-Man movies. I found myself a little bored. So, but I have to approve it.
Okay.
I will approve it.
All right.
I will approve. You are approved, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, I liked it more than I didn't like it, which is, I'm cribbing a page from your book, and I'm going to approve this also. I think overall, this was probably second best Spider-Man movie for me, right below Spider-Man 2.
Oh, okay.
So, despite its faults, I still liked it overall. So swing into theaters and see it if you want, or to wait for it to come out later. It's fine. It's just fine.
Yeah. Enter Captain America PSA.
Oh!
Captain America here. I need your help battling the energy wasters, the thermal thief, the wattage waster, and the cold air crook. These insidious villains are probably in your home. Defeat the thermal thief by shutting doors. Waste the wattage waster by turning off unused lights. And cool the cold air crook by shutting the refrigerator door. Saving energy is everyone's business.
Quality assured films.
So there you have it. That was a review of Spider-Man Homecoming.
Great stuff. I'm John.
I'm Mike, and we are Quality Assured Films. Spider-Man.
The last great thing I want to say about this movie is the final credit.
We both approved it. We agreed. Amazing.
Welcome to Quality. Theodore Parker. I'm John.
I'm Mike.
And we are
Quality Assured.
Sorry, one more time. Because
every time.
I'm so sorry. I don't.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider does.
Such as things that spiders can do.
Like it's such and much an ass. Look out, it's